My next guest is going to be taking on Gustavo Lopez coming up here at UFC Fight Night on March 20th. It's Adrian Yanez back here on the program. Adrian, how's it going, man?
Man, it's going great, man. I'm super excited. I'm super stoked, man. I'm just ready to go, man.
Yeah, I think we're all excited to see you back in the cage, and we'll talk about sort of everything that's happened between this fight and your last fight and this fight. But first off, how are you doing? I know you're from Texas. We had the snowstorm and all that stuff. How did that impact you much? How's everything, and how's the family?
Oh man, our house and everything. We were actually blessed enough to not have any of the problems of the busted pipes or the electricity going out, man. So we were really blessed in that situation. I had some family that their pipes busted. I had some other family that went without electricity for 3 to 5 days. So it was it was hectic for that in that sense, and also it was kind of hard to be able to even get to the gym, to even get training that week. I actually ended up having to go to my mom's hotel where she works at and run on their treadmill just to get some miles in, man. So it was definitely hard during that week, and it was just unfortunate what happened to a lot of people here in Texas, man. It was really unfortunate because Texas, we weren't ready for it, and it was just a lot of things that just weren't taken. We didn't take the right precautions or the right steps to to be able to handle something like that. I know everybody up north is like, hey, man, we handle the freezes all the time. We handle it very well, but
it doesn't snow in Texas. That's the problem. You know what I mean? Like what are the chances of that? You know what I mean? Happening. I mean, I don't ever remember it snowing in Texas ever, right? So. Oh
yeah. It snowed lightly, but it's never been that was actually the most snow I have ever seen in Texas. In my whole entire life, I've never seen that amount of snow here in Houston. So it was something to awe at, but then at the same time, we're kind of just man, this is really beautiful. I remember going to go pick up my mom from work and just looking at the streets, it was beautiful. But at the same time, I was like, holy crap, we're not equipped to deal with this. Yeah. we need to do something. So nature's beautiful, but also it can be at the same time, if you're not ready or prepared for it, it can be destructive.
It certainly can.
I'm just really glad that my family, my friends and everybody, is doing a lot better now, especially.
Yeah, and I saw you out there. There was a photo of you on your Instagram where I think you're handing out water or something, fresh water, because I know that was an issue too. So obviously it's impacted a lot of people. Just, sort of last thing on that, was there ever a part of you that thought, worried about the fight at all, just with, everything happening back home and everyone being affected? Did that ever cross your mind at all about, maybe the fight might not happen if you don't have time to prepare and stuff?
Oh, no, I'm a meathead. I still would have fought anyways.
Right. No, I figured as much. Yeah, I was just curious if it ever got that bad,
I was finding any way just to get to the gym. My brother, he's trained a little bit, so he knows how to hold mitts. So my brother was holding mitts for me, and we go to the hotel, get the run in, then do a mitt session and everything. And the gym was closed down for almost the whole entire week, so we were just doing whatever we could at that time. So it was a little bit rough, but at the same time, I wasn't going to let it hinder anything that I was doing. I had my mind set on this fight, and that's exactly what I'm going for. And also too, it was kind of a little bit of I was going so hard, going so heavy that week, once I came back the next week, I noticed that I was kind of re-energized, ready to go back into into training full blast again, because a lot of kinks here and there, so it was a blessing and a curse all at the same time. So I was able to get the amount of adequate rest that I needed whenever I was kind of forced to take the rest, and it helped.
So it kind of worked out well for you, yeah.
Oh yeah, it helped me out. So it has its ups and downs.
It seemed like you got a decent amount of notice for that fight. Is that accurate? When did you find out?
Man, I found out. It was I got the contract back in November.
Oh,
it was
perfect.
I was back in 2 days before my birthday. So I signed the fight on I think it was November 27th on a Friday, and then the fights happened. We were having a little get together with the family and everything for my birthday on Saturday, and then I get called out by that guy Nathan
Yanez. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
then I saw my everybody on Twitter blowing me up, and I was like, I want that fight. Next thing you know, my texted my manager, and my manager was like, "Hey, we already signed for a fight." So,
oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah, because I figured that fight was going to happen because it seemed like you guys both had interest. But obviously, if a fight was offered before he had called you out, that totally makes sense. So,
yeah, no, now it just looks like I'm not answering the call out, but I'm definitely I want that
good.
fight.
Glad we clarified that. Yeah, no, I figured as much. It was just like one of those things, right? Like, it happens. So.
Oh yeah, it was just wrong timing for me. I definitely would have signed that Nate Maness fight because like, hey man, if you say my name, dude, I'm there. Just call me, I'm there. Like, if you want to fight me, hey, just call me, man. I'm there. But I had this fight with Gustavo Lopez like literally a day before, so it was I was like, I'm pumped up to fight this guy, but also I'm pumped up to fight Gustavo Lopez because man, that dude's a brawler. He's tough, man. He fought that dude Marab on 6 days notice and went off three with them. So I'm looking at that. It's like, that guy's tough. He fought a guy in the top 15 and went off 3 with them in a 6-day notice. So I'm just like, that pumps me up even more. I'm like, yeah, like this is one of those ones that I can, like, I'll be able to show like how much my potential, like where my potential truly is. Like, this is a good fight for me. This is a great fight for me. Especially he's super tough and he's a former Combates Americas champion, so that's another thing that I could put under my belt. Going in there and knocking out that guy. He was a champion in another organization, took a fight on 6 days' notice and went all 3 with the top 15 guy. And then he stopped that guy Anthony Burchek in his last fight. So, man, it's a fight that really interests me, and it's a fight that for me makes all the sense in the world that I need to go in there and fight that type of guy, and I'm pumped for it.
No, I love the matchup. It's definitely got fight of the night written all over it. You sort of talked about the style matchup there. You talked also about camp, getting to train with your brother. Who else are you getting to work with as far as this camp in preparation for Gustavo Lopez?
Oh, man, I got a lot of training partners. My coach, Saul Solis, he does he pretty much masterminds the training camp. And then also my training partner, Jacob Silva, and he's about Gustavo's height. They're both 5'5". I think he's faster than Gustavo. He's a little bit more explosive. To me, he has better boxing than Gustavo, so I've been getting a lot of rounds with him. Then also, I got another training partner. So for this training camp, I've had a lot of fighters in, especially since they're all fighting March 7th on a Fury card that's going to debut on UFC Fight Pass.
Oh, they're on Fight Pass. That's all. I didn't know that. That's great because that's been a long-standing promotion that I'd like. Tons of fighters have come out of there in Texas.
Oh yeah, so I'm like super happy that it's finally happening. So for me, like, I felt like that was like an organization that like needed to be on something like that because like they were putting on great quality type of fights since way back. That I know Daniel Pineda's fought there. I fought there. We had Alex Morano has fought there. We had, like, even Ryan Spann has fought there. So there's been a good group of guys who fought there and then also are in the UFC. So there's a lot of up and coming talent from there. You got Leomano Martinez as the co-main event, Jacob Silva as the main event, and then we got another one of my training partners, Cameron Smotherman. He's making his pro debut. So it's like I think we also had like 4 other fighters, but there's so many that I'll forget to name them all. But
no worries, we'll be here all day. But yeah, so the point is, go watch Fury FC. It's good stuff, and the fact it's on Fight Pass is easy for someone like myself too, because I'm in Canada. Fight Pass is great because everything's in one spot, right? So it's easy to watch. So
yeah, it's perfect, and especially it's on a Sunday too. So it's gonna be one of those that, hey man, you just saw some fights yesterday. Now you get to watch some fights today on UFC Fight Pass. To me, that's the perfect type of weekend. You got the UFC, and then after that you got the other fights coming on. You get to kind of cool down off of it into the week.
I imagine the weight cut's going well.
Oh yeah, man! Especially the tirade I went on a couple weeks ago about all those fighters missing weight.
Oh, that was crazy, huh? Yeah.
Oh yeah. So for me, that's also a checkpoint too. For me, is like, man, I talked a lot. I was talking bad about these guys. Well, not talking bad, but I was just saying, like, hey, like, this is your profession. This is your profession. This is your job. You got to make weight. Like especially 8-week training camp. So me saying that to them puts me in check. Be like, I have to make weight because now that I talk mess about these guys, I can't ever miss weight, because if I miss weight, people are going to go back to that, clown me for this, and I'm like,
that happened to Jessica I. Do you remember that? She gave Sajara Eubanks a bunch of crap about missing weight, and then she missed weight like a couple fights later, and everyone's like bringing up the old tweet, and it was bad. So
see, like I'm setting myself up like, hey, I'm putting a challenge in front of me. It's like I'm not
exactly.
letting that. So that's also a check for me, but also I look at that and I'm like, hey, that's a little bit unprofessional. Like the guy that came in like 2 weight classes over, man, at least give a notice, man. If you know you're not going to make it, give a notice.
Yeah, I agree. Sal Solis will be in your corner. Who else will be with you in the cage that night?
Cage side is going to be my brother Andres. You know, he's always been in my corner. He's going to stay in my corner for all my fights to come. And then my training partner Jacob Silva. I'm going to go ahead and like have someone Gustavo's size, you know, throughout fight week, just so I can get range, just so I can just feel out someone like his length, his size. You know, so like especially in height, he might be a little bit broader, a little bit top heavy, but I'll just have that like distance down for sure.
How's this fight playing out on March 20th?
Oh man, I'm picturing a stoppage. I pictured it like in my head. I have seen it. I've seen it go a lot of ways, but they really doesn't go out the first round. But also I'm ready for a 3-round war. I know he's tough. I know he's super durable, but after like doing like some film study, just like watching him, I feel like I can get him out in the first round. And then every time I picture it, every time I think about it, just kind of visualize it, it's just always a knockout. So I'm expecting a knockout, but at the same time, a 3-round war, I'm ready for it.
What's Downtime looking like right now? We talked about all the chaos that happened a few weeks ago, but you getting any Netflix or any video game time? What are you doing outside of camp?
Oh man, I just like every Friday we got into the WandaVision. So
cool. Okay, nice.
I can just watch WandaVision every Friday, every time it would come on, and I'd be so disappointed because it wasn't like Netflix. You get to go Netflix and just watch the whole entire thing consistently, and like you can binge watch. So like no, every Friday came on, I was always upset once it was over because I'd be like, man, I gotta wait till next week to watch this. But no, I've been on that consistently. I really haven't watched too much on Netflix. What I've really been doing is watching a lot of YouTube off my Xbox. Just like I've been watching a lot of other fighters and just seeing what they do. Like trying to take something from their style and trying to add it to mine. Trying to see what works and what doesn't work. So I just been watching a lot of fights, a lot of boxing, a lot of Muay Thai, a lot of wrestling, just because like I want to see what works and see what doesn't work. So it's just more of me just like watching other fights or watching other combat sports, just so I can like just keep my mind on it. And on Fridays and the weekends, man, it's Saturdays are for UFC, but Fridays at night usually for WandaVision.
There you go. You got it all set. We got to be watching this fight, man. UFC Fight Night, March 20th. Adrian, always a pleasure, man. Just remind people where they can find you on social media. And if you got any sponsors or shout-outs, I'll give you the last word.
Oh, man. You can find me on Twitter at Yanez MMA, Instagram at Adrian Yanez 93, Facebook. I believe I have a Team Adrian or Adrian Yanez MMA. But after that, HK USA. That's my training. That's my training gear. Metro Fight Club, my coach Sal Solis. So that's it. Thank you so much, guys.